Hey everyone, Subverter down here. I'm going to give an intro to TapThatDraft, especially focusing on the features most people are interested in, like the printable one-pager and the mock draft simulator. So let's just jump right in, show you how to get to it easily. You click TapThatDraft from my webpage, and you'll be asked to enter information. Main things you need to get right are the number of teams in your league and the number of starting positions in your rosters. We'll come back to the others later, but you can basically save and enter. You get the output. All the way at the bottom is the print options. I like for the snake drafts the single list option. So you click that, you'll get the output in a lean sheet, a lot of complicated math underneath, it's all hidden, and this shows the optimal player ordering as calculated for your league settings and your league size and other things. So to print it, you just do Control P. And what you might see is that it might be black and white sometimes, and you notice you can still see the tier colors, or shading in that case. And what you also might see, which is needs to be fixed, is if background graphics is not selected underneath the more settings, then it will just look blank white. So you want to make sure those are checked, and color if you want. And that's all there is to it. Let's go back and see how it would look for the case of auction, so you can see what that's like as well. And I'll try the buy position view. For auction, the main thing you really need is to make sure the budget is correct, and of course the things I mentioned before. So save and enter draft room, and now the output is going to look different because it's calculating optimal player prices for an option in the league. So come all the way down again, and for auctions, I like the buy position view. So it looks like this, and it's going to print out the same as I showed you before. Now you can see that all the players are grouped by their respective positions. It also has columns for the average auction value from other places. Some people like that. And there's a positional scarcity column as well. Quick on the functionality of auction. It basically works that you just click the little selection plus button to add players as they're drafted, and it will assume that they are drafted at the recommended auction price. You can also, if you're using the subscription version, enter the actual price that they were paid for and hit enter, and then it will keep track of inflation across your league over there. But let's undo all picks and go back to jump into the simulator after actually I show you the other main feature that we added this year, which is MyRankings, and this affects both Snake and Auction, of course. So the idea is that instead of using what I use, which is the expert consensus ordering of players, you can use your favorite analysts. Suppose they put Love at number 5 or something, or whatever order you want. Then what we've arranged this off-season is that some clever math underneath will automatically rescale the underlying projection. So you're still getting a value-based drafting, value over replacement. And you can put the players in any order that you want according to whichever expert, or just according to your own preferences. So have a go at it. And you can always reset them up here, and you will get the latest expert consensus rankings. So you click return to draft room after you modify that. And I think that's really special because that gives a double customization here that is unique here. You get to customize your league settings and size as well as the actual player order. And then a third one is going to be what I'll show you, which is the referencing. So let's switch back to Snake because now we're going to jump into the mock draft. The most important thing also for the static sheets is that you want to choose the correct reference. There's normal ADP. But you can also choose, for example, the ESPN draft room order. If you think your opponents are using that, basically you want to choose what you think your opponents are using. If you think they're using your own rankings, then you want to choose that instead. And that's going to be critical for simulating who their picks might be so that you can take advantage of that and pick optimally. While I'm here on this page, I think the one other setting I want to point out that's new is the boost. This was by popular demand. So if you think your league is especially valuing running backs, then you can indicate that you want their value boosted for that league. So that's another new feature this year. So let's enter and see what the mock draft looks like. It's the same snake output as you saw before. The first thing that we're going to do is pick which which pick you have in the order. So let's say you're pick number 3, and then by default at the moment it's still the website's unlocked. We're here at the end of June, so now you need to turn on the mock. Maybe I should mention, if you haven't selected the auto mock version, then you can that is a locked feature. Then you can choose players one by one for the other opponents. Okay, but now it has drafted Gibbs and Chase for the other teams for me, and that is according to the reference that we used, which was ADP, with some randomness added. Now it's suggesting to us the top 4 positions up here and which one we should give most priority. And so it's suggesting Bijan. Let's click that, and basically you can either click up here in these top 4 positions or any player down here. What it's doing is it's scanning the players within this yellow region roughly for who your opponents might be picking, and it's trying to take advantage of that. It's looking for drop-offs in positional scarcity, drop-offs in value. It's looking for your own roster needs. It's of course considering the values of the player themselves. It's also considering the optionality. The most important or powerful part of it is it's tracking which specific players went to which specific teams. So right now, if teams number 1 and 2, they're picking in between my next turn, it will actually consider if they have already chosen a quarterback or a wide receiver, for example, or filled up at those positions. And it might tell you, hey, relax, you don't need to rush on that particular player now. They'll probably still be available afterwards. So that's one of the additional features that's going on here with the priority. You could almost just keep clicking the top left here if you wanted to see what the tool thinks your optimal roster would look like, because it's going to optimize to try to balance your roster as it's going on, keep open optionality for future steals, and everything else I just described. So yeah, I can also mention there is no option for the opponents to auto pick defenses or kickers. However, if you are off the auto mock function and you're following a real draft, let me just pick for myself here. Okay, now it's the other team picking. You do have the option to say, hey, this other team, whoever turned it, is now pick out a kicker, and you can just click draft next to kicker. It doesn't keep track of which one, doesn't need to, because hey, we're streaming here. If you're following me, you know that. And you can also click here so that that next player in line is drafting a defense, if that is what they have done in the real draft. But you won't see that on the auto mock option. So you can turn that back on, and it will pick for the players in between. So that's everything. I hope you take really good advantage of these things, because we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, getting this MyRankings feature working, getting this priority to give really, hopefully very sensible results and all the rest. So have a lot of fun with TapThatDraft this year, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye, guys.